Willie D Live.
What's up, family? In an effort to chase Donald Trump, your president, 2020 voters fraud claims, the FBI on yesterday raided a Georgia election office. Yeah, just ahead of the midterms. Check it out.
Following that big story back here at home at the Fulton County Elections Office in Fairburn, as the FBI is serving a search warrant and a raid there. We're going to get out to one of our cameras here and listen in together. I believe this is a live news conference, and we'll get you the name and who they're talking with as well. Let's listen in together, and then we'll come right back.
Now, what's weird about this is that I've heard rumors that the warrant that was originally, again, signed or not, I have not seen the warrant, so I can't tell you standing here if it's even a valid warrant. But apparently those 700 boxes of ballots, they didn't have a warrant that quite covered what they wanted. So what they're having to do now is try to amend the warrant somehow. But their full intention is to take 700 boxes of ballots away from the 2020 election. The reason I know that is because there are two state election board members from Georgia in there, Jan and Sally, who have participated in election denial and conspiracy theories themselves, to be very clear. And Jan was on the phone and she said in front of me, they should take all 700 boxes away. So that is the clear intention of the people who are trying to grab these ballots to pursue conspiracy theories, is to grab as many ballots as possible. I've also heard from Fulton officials that there is no protection for chain of custody. There is no assurance that chain of custody is being preserved. That's so important because if they are able to modify the contents of these boxes, when I say they, I mean the Trump administration, then there's really no way of knowing what did happen in 2020. I mean, look what's happening with the Epstein files, right? There's a real question as to whether those files are actually preserved in the condition that they were originally in. There's a real question as to whether the Epstein files are being modified.
That is a damn good point. And if they can modify the Epstein files, they can absolutely modify those voting cards. Whoa.
So that Trump can get off scot-free. Same thing could be happening here for all we know. That's why chain of custody is so important, and it's not being preserved as far as I'm aware right now. So again, we keep seeing FBI, ERT teams go in and out. We hear the FBI director might be on his way, but what we know is that there is an intention here by the FBI coming from DC to grab 700 boxes of 2020 ballots from Fulton County in pursuit of Donald Trump's conspiracy theories.
Why do you think this is happening like right now?
I wasn't able to get an official explanation. I took a video of a couple of the ERT team members. I tried to ask them what they were getting, what they were there for. They could not tell me. They said they tried to refer me to a public relations officer. What did you say?
Why do you think this is happening right now, State Senator?
Well, I think it's happening. I said this a minute ago because of this weekend. You know, Donald Trump is an illusion artist, and he's an entertainer. And when things go bad for him, he tries to change the subject. So this weekend, we saw the entire country in uproar about the violation of Alex Preddy's Second Amendment and First Amendment rights. That has created a huge political problem for Donald Trump, and so it's no surprise to me that the very next week, while we're still talking about that loss, while we're still talking about ICE and Border Patrol overreach, that he swoops in with the FBI to create this spectacle here in Fulton County, which again is his favorite punching bag. I mean, it's ridiculous. We have been dealing with this in Fulton County now for 6 years. Donald Trump constantly interfering, threatening election workers, threatening the integrity of our state-run elections. It's bananas, and it's all to serve his narcissistic ego because he can't admit that he lost the election in 2020. That's not even the last presidential election. That's the one before this one.
I ain't got no problem with that.
It's all to serve his narcissistic ego because he can't admit that he lost the election in 2020. That's not even the last presidential election. That's the one before this one, the past one. So it's just ridiculous that we got elected officials standing here. I'm here with State Representative Willis, State Representative Glaze. We've got Senator Rashawn Kemp. We are all here having to deal with this on a day when we should be doing committee meetings and legislative session because Donald Trump has decided that now's the time to change the subject.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator.
Period.
Okay, so we have been listening in together, and that is State Senator Rashawn, and I can't remember his last name to the right of him, but the one we just heard from was State Representative Josh McLaurin. He's a Democrat from Sandy Springs. As to what he believes is happening inside, I've been taking notes together. As you can tell, he's very fired up about this. He says that he believes that they've been there to take 700 ballots away related to the 2020 election. And again, our photographer is zooming in. Senator District 14, Josh McLaurin there. He says that, again, he believes that this is a distraction that he claims President Donald Trump wants after last weekend that we just talked about in Minneapolis and Minnesota with Alex Preddy and the death there happening with ICE officials.
Okay, that's enough, fam. You catch what's going on. He did mistakenly say 700 ballots. He should have said 700 boxes of ballots. 700 boxes of ballots. Okay. Man. Family, you know what I'd like to see? You know what would be real cool? I think it would be dope if Trump sent in the FBI, watch this, to investigate whether the 2024 election was rigged. I think that would be some Epstein level denial. That'd be some Epstein level secrecy right there, wouldn't it? Well, all of a sudden they wouldn't be able to find any of the ballots. We can't find the ballots. We can't find the offices where the ballots were stored. They'd have a problem finding everything. Family, I hate to say it, man, but that might not be a midterms. At this rate, that might not be a midterms. Yeah. Like, this dude, you know what? I think this is part of the strategy, though. I think part of the strategy is fight every battle, no matter how small, and just wear them out. Like, go after every single win. Any little loss of ground, fight for it. And if you lose it, fight to get it back. Even if you do it illegally, just fight. Always fight for every little inch. Fight. Whereas on the other side, the Democrats, they are so caught up in fighting the little small battles that they're worn out about even the bigger battles. In fact, the small battles and the big battles become one. It's like they just start to blend so much. It's like, so they just wear you down. Every day is something else. And if you notice, most of the stuff is trivial. So he'll pop out some trivial things to throw you off, throw the scent off, right? Of this big thing that's going on. One of the biggest things was the Epstein files. He's been fighting this Epstein file thing since day one. He's been fighting it. For a moment, it looked like he might come through with his campaign promises for his constituents and reveal the Epstein files, release the Epstein files. But once the public knew that he was for certain in those files, he started backpedaling. When he knew that the public knew, he started being more vocal about not releasing the Epstein's files, and he started calling the files a Democratic hoax. So first he says the files exist, and he's going to expose everybody in the files. He's going to expose all the Democrats who was involved with Epstein. Once he finds out he's in the files, now he wants to suppress the files and he's not concerned about the files because it's a Democratic hoax. So then he says, okay, well, they're not buying it. They're not buying the hoax thing. They're saying they want to see the files. They still want to see the files. Okay, what can I do now? Okay, we'll release the files. But first, let us take the files to a remote location. I believe it was Tennessee somewhere. It was somewhere in the South. Take the files to a remote location and redact everything that we don't think that the public should be allowed to see. Redact, subtract, omit that, you know what I'm saying? Take it out. Yeah. Okay, I think we got enough. We're cool. Okay, they pressure. They want the files. Okay, here go the damn files, man. Take it. Oh shit, I forgot. We forgot to take that out. Oh, we didn't mean to leave that in. It's so many files that they did what they normally do. Overlook. They didn't go through the files with a fine-tooth comb. Unless somebody purposely went through the files and left certain things in the files. You know, if somebody can take something out of a file, they can put something into a file. I'm just saying, fam. I'm just saying. So check this out. This is on Reuters. This is a story. This is Trump trying to create chaos. Fulton County Commissioner Mo Ivory confirmed a warrant was being served and said federal officials were collecting 700 boxes of ballots from a secure location. In a video posted to social media made from inside the election center, she accused Trump of trying to create chaos in order to benefit Republicans in the November midterm elections. In separate comments to reporters, Ivory called the federal intrusion an assault on voters and said local officials were considering what legal recourse they may have to stop it. We know in America right now, it does not even matter if what you are saying is the right thing. If our president wants to bring in the forces, he will, Ivory told reporters. Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, was expected to visit the site of the search on Wednesday, according to law enforcement official, giving her a highly unusual presence in domestic law enforcement that one former official called unprecedented. Reuters reported that Gabbard last year formed a group of dozens of officials from across federal government, including the Justice Department, that was helping to steer Trump's drive for retribution against his perceived enemies. Weaponizing the federal government for personal vendettas? You don't say. So what do you say, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.